In this episode, we are going to install the Raspberry Pi OS onto the SD card that will then be plugged into the Raspberry Pi device, and we'll boot the device from there. So
we're going to use SSH after that to connect directly to the Raspberry Pi, and not having any installation manually on the Raspberry Pi. We will not need a mouse, a keyboard, or even a screen. So just the Raspberry Pi and the power supply will be enough.
So we are putting all the information on this SD card that the Raspberry Pi needs to boot and to also make a Wi-Fi connection so that SSH becomes possible.
That's right. So we are selecting, as usual, the 64-bit Raspbian, because we are going to use a 64-bit microprocessor in our Raspberry Pi, and select the SD card within our computer. Then
we go down to the options and we put in the information that the Raspberry Pi needs to know to boot up for its initial boot without any connection to a keyboard or a mouse. So one of the first things is going to be the name of that Raspberry Pi device. We're going to call that Wii. So when you look at your network configuration, Wii is the name of that particular device.
Then we will enable the SSH, which is extremely important, so we are able to connect at the computer after the installation is fully done through the SD card.
This basically allows the card to talk over SSH. Otherwise, it would be very boring.
Exactly.
And for the username, we'll make that Wii U because that's easy to remember. And the password.
And very confusing. We like confusing stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, you see here the imager, the Raspberry imager, is copying the same network that my computer is connected to. And also, just for sake of safety, I'm retyping the Wi-Fi password just in case.
So this software automatically pulled the network name and the network password off of the computer we're looking at this on.
That's right. So now let's find our wireless LAN country. It should be JP somehow, but
Japan.
Yes, and Japan takes time to go this far.
Well, it's in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, it's the beginning of the time zone also.
Very far away.
Okay, and let's select the local setting. We are in
It's in Asia, and everybody in Japan uses a US keyboard.
Somehow.
That's not true.
Okay, I think all the setup is good. We don't need to play the sound. Let's have a quick check at the end, and we see that all is good.
Looks good.
Okay, so ready to save and to jump, do exactly the same thing. Write the code in our SD card.
But that's going to destroy all our information on the SD card currently. Oh no, I hope there's some sort of a warning.
You should see a warning when you tap right. Okay, the PC is frozen. Okay, let's move it. And here we are. Okay,
you want to
all good.
Delete all your existing information? Yes, we do.
Okay. Well, I think now the Raspberry Pi is ready.
I feel ready.
Okay, so let's go now to the PC and use PuTTY for Windows to access. So we have checked within the router and we found the IP address that has been assigned to the Raspberry Pi is as below: 192 and then 168, then 1 here for this one 1, and then 153.
153.
Yeah, and we are going to use a port 22, and the connection type will be SSH. So let's
should work. I hope so.
And we get this message here. This is connection when the first time you connect through an SSH, and this is good.
Because are you sure you want to do this?
Hope so, yeah. And this message means it found a connection and would like to connect. So you put yes.
You can try it if you want to.
Yeah, and we have this terminal screen that appears, so we are in the right direction. So we are going to connect as Wii, and then they ask for the password that we added, and we said we are using a simple one, 1, 2, 3, 4. And if we enter here, we are in the Wii.
Excellent.
At Wii.
We are Wii at Wii.
So we were able to connect to our Raspberry Pi and actually set up the whole thing without needing any extra keyboard, screen, or mouse, so the whole thing went well.
The keyboard, screen, and mouse we're using are just for our PC.
Exactly.
But we don't need a separate one for the Raspberry Pi device.
Right. We are good, I think, for this episode.
Excellent. We're in.
Good.
We're on. We can access into our Raspberry Pi device, so now the fun begins.